Hey everyone, Melissa here. Is it going? Yes, it is. Okay, so I just called a pregnancy center. This was out in, where was it? California. So, like I said, I do a lot of work with pregnancy centers. I'm going to give my hair a break, letting my hair down a minute and rest. Um, so, I do a lot of work with pregnancy centers, and I talked to one of them that actually was talking about how they have a bus and the organization they work with, and buses are more prevalent now, right? We see more mobile buses for healthcare. But still, a lot of these girls in low income places are still scared to get on a bus. They find it easier to go to Planned Parenthood, who offers them free services without really understanding what these clinics are, right? Some of them. Um, One is a Planned Parenthood, another one has a name with family services in it, and that's kind of deceptive, right? Because when you're killing children, you're not a family service. So because they think it's free, it's, they're going there. So this pregnancy center, which I think is really cool, where I've done sidewalk work myself, they bring the bus right on the sidewalk, and they don't just bring it on the sidewalk, but they advertise when they are going to be there and what location exactly. So they are in low income locations, and what they're doing is the days that the girls are being prepared to have their abortions, they are there that day. Now, this was a little difficult for me to hear because she was talking about how uh, Laminera was being put in these girls, and on that day is when they are there at that time. And I just to hear that term, there's so many triggers for post-abortive women. To hear that term was just like, whoa, I was taken aback a minute because when I had the abortion, they don't tell you anything. They don't tell you what they're putting in you. They don't tell you anything. So it was years later that I was like, what in the world was put in me? And Laminera, I never heard of that before in my life, and it's like this dried up seaweed, this little tiny dried up seaweed, and I didn't know how it worked. And how it works is it's all dried up so that when they put it in you, when a woman has her own, excuse my vocabulary, I don't know how else to say this, but wetness in her, it makes the seaweed expand. It's like a tent like seaweed, and it makes it expand, so she's being dilated. And usually one or two, it's not just one, two can be put in. I don't know how many I had put in. It felt like three, who knows? But what's happening is I read about this, and it's you're supposed to have 24 hours before you have to go back. It says you should rest. I didn't have 24 hours. Mine was like right after lunch I was taken in. And of course, I didn't eat lunch, but I didn't even know either. All I knew was I was in a lot of pain. That's all I knew. But if you do some research, it's actually inducing you so that you have contractions. So I was actually having contractions at 3 months along. And so what this bus does is it gets over there to the girls. It brings them, it gives them an ultrasound, prenatal vitamins, which is great. They have an actual first like medical appointment because this clinic is medically sound. So so rather than a lot of girls just being like, okay, the doctors are 30 to 40 minutes away in small town areas, so I'll just go to these free clinics. This bus is there to intercede, and they're there to advocate for girls too, to stand up for them, to help them keep their babies. So I am really impressed with them. They have a fatherhood initiative, who they work through CareNet, and a couple can go in. You can go in as a couple and decide, take a survey. In this pregnancy center, I'm sure a lot of them are like this, and they offer classes. So a lot of men, they need classes, they need coaching, they need to understand what fatherhood is, right? They also had housing for women who are pregnant. They have housing. So, as I compete for this nonprofit and I've looked at what other people are doing this morning a little bit more, I'm trying to dig in. My time has been limited, but as I have time, I'm digging in to say, what do I want to do? And I think for me, it's going to be I want to be here socially for women on social media. I want to be here and I want to have a hub of every single thing that mothers need and connections for all kinds of mothers and all across the country, and have connections, and even maybe courses to help women with mothering, help them to raise their children, all the way from, that first decision of deciding whether to become a mother or whether they want to be fat, taking preteen, teen girls, helping them out, the girls who have been in, the rougher projects of life, the rougher areas, connecting with orphanages, connecting with pregnancy centers. I want to be a place like an all-in-one. And I know a lot of people talk about niching things down, but for me, it's doing whatever it takes to help women keep their babies. Marriage classes, divorce classes. I was married 33 years and knew my husband since second grade, so I still have that stuff there to share. Books on marriage. So I'm going to be offering a lot. I'm going to be connecting with other organizations to, figure out how to connect to help women more. Even if I don't win this grant, the grant is not going to define me. I will find a way to do more. I probably could do most of this for free just on here. And then I will be expanding to look further into grants to help women, to help families, to help just communities in general to be able to have their kids. Things that I've done, being connected to, community resources is what I did when I raised my kids. Even, just even, basketball, soccer, what else? Boy Scouts, CAP, as in Civil Air Patrol, churches, Bible studies, bringing churches on, doing a lot of stuff to help communities is what I plan on doing, because I had my family and I've got grown kids now, so I have the time to do this. Connecting in so many ways, offering courses down the road in motherhood. I've taken MOPS, I've taken Mom to Mom, I've read books. So I'm going to be doing this more, and I'm going to be incorporating the homeschooling into this too, to help parents who want to homeschool their kids. So you'll see a little bit of a name change on my channel. I'll be adding homeschooling this to the list, a homeschool mom here, and using everything that I had, plus getting out there and finding more to help women be mothers. So that's what I got for now, because I guess I really wanted to work on healing myself, because I wanted to help other women. So my whole life has been given to, if not boyfriends and trying to find a husband, to being married, to having kids, to healing from a forced abortion, to just a whole life on that mother family side, and I wanted to heal because I want to help women. So when I graduated early from high school, I knew what I wanted to do. I had a plan and I did it. When I homeschooled, I knew my why, and I knew why I wanted to homeschool, and I did it. So now it's, why do I want to help other women? I do not want women to go through abortions. I don't want them to go through what I went through. I don't want them to go through years of dealing with the trauma of abortion. It's not fun. And I mean, luckily I had enough support to raise my kids, and I was in church all the time, and I've had a lot of resources at my fingertips, but there's a lot of women who don't. And of course, this will all be in the context of the gospel, which will change women's lives. So we want the best for women. We want them to succeed. We want families to succeed, and that's what I'm going for, guys. So if you have any ideas, leave comments below. I did talk to somebody about that bus, and they're like, be very specific. Know exactly what you're doing if you do get on a bus, which I do plan on getting on a bus and helping women in that regard too. So there will be a lot in the home births and everything. So I will just be continuing to share a lot here and moving outward with a lot of resources to help moms. So stay tuned, and that's what I've got planned for the future. Okay, thanks for joining me, guys.